exploring lakes, rivers, and reservoirs across the country with an unyielding goal to enlighten viewers from a fisheye perspective. Come along and we'll investigate the habitat. Much more than a fishing show, this is an eye-opening aquatic experience. Welcome to Kim Stricker's Hook and Look, Season 14. Frogs, a familiar amphibian which inhabit freshwater aquatic ecosystems, are commonly pursued and preyed upon by largemouth bass, generally targeted on the surface amongst matted vegetation. However, this week, Kim will demonstrate the bass's craving for frogs in open water.
Now there is a stud.
The marsh is a world of dragonflies and bullfrogs, where herons creep and turtles sleep, where bullfrogs croak and otters soak, where lilies bloom and skimmers loom, where bass explode on frog or toad.
He come right out of the water for it. Get out of those pads, baby. Get out of that. That's a decent fish. Yeah. Get out. That's where that smackdown comes in handy. Yes, sir. Come on out of there, baby. That is awesome. Get out of those pads. Yeah. There we go. Nice fish. In the pads. In the pads. Let me put my power poles down. I don't want to drift into the pads. He come, I mean, right out of the water. He wanted it. Those are sharp hooks. Nice belly, nice solid. Do you see how dark they are when they come out of the, what I call gunch, out of the thick stuff? Nice fish, eating froggies. I think most average anglers associate frogs and frog fishing with lily pads or thick matted cover in marshy areas. And believe me, it's an extremely effective presentation as long as you're prepared with heavy enough equipment to get them out of that thick stuff. While bass will frequently inhale a frog when it sees one crawling over the pads, it's not necessarily the presence of frogs that are drawing them to that specific cover. The key forage bass are following in most inland eutrophic lakes are bluegills. With bluegills in mind, lily pads are a great piece of cover to target when the bait fish are present. But with all that said, today's show isn't about lily pads at all. You see, a hollow-bodied frog like Strike King's Sexy Frog is a big fish topwater lure in open water as well, particularly on an overcast day in early fall. And today, I'm going to show you why. Yes. Look at that fish. Oh, that's a good one. That's frog fishing in the fall. Look at him. And he choked it too, didn't he? I might lip you, baby. Come on over here. Come on over. Yes. Look at, did he eat that frog or what? Sexy frog. It's pretty sexy. Yeah, and that's, you know, a leopard frog pattern. But yeah, now he's on this flat. There's been bluegills out here on the weeds, and he's close to the edge. I'm sure we're gonna catch him over those weeds. I imagine we'll catch some around the docks. We'll catch some right near the shoreline where those frogs will jump off the lawn and get in the water and they get nailed. But yeah, I like it.
When you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Have you ever seen a frog just swimming freely in the open water? Me neither. And if you did, it wouldn't be for long, and that's for certain. After all, largemouth bass, as well as northern pike, are a natural predator for these leaping amphibians. Yet it isn't frogs they're following throughout the lake. They're following the schools of bluegills. And if perhaps a frog wanders by the area, it would be an easy target the bass wouldn't ignore. The frog bite continues when Hook and Look returns. This portion of Hook and Look is brought to you by Strike King Lure Company, #1 in fishing lures, Power Pole, Total Boat Control, and by AquaView, reinventing underwater cameras.
Majority of the fish are out here on the flats near the break. That was a good one, man. That's a good one. Oh man, I get the biggest kick out of this stuff. Oh, I love, look at that. That's a dandy. That's a dandy. Oh, yes. Play for the camera. Yes, sir. Come on over here to Papa. Yeah. And look, again, he choked it. Choked it. This is a pattern that not a lot of guys are doing at this time. You know, this is a week past Labor Day. And up here, it's like the end of summer and a lot of people kind of hang it up. This is an early fall pattern. The old sexy frog. When preparing to fish a hollow-bodied frog, I expect to fish in the heavy vegetation and in thick pads, and that's why I spool up with 65-pound test Seaguar Smackdown braid. Smackdown gives me the strength and abrasion resistance I need to cut through the thick pads and vegetation when wrestling those fish to the boat. This is the low-vis stealth gray color, which reduces line visibility, especially when you have a sky background and the fish are viewing it from below. You may think, well, you don't need that heavy a line in open water, and that's true, yet I do recommend that you do use braided line. Braided line is more buoyant and serves to keep the nose of the frog up better, as compared to, let's say, fluorocarbon line. There he is. Oh, it's the northern. Oh, did he slam it? Ooh, don't want to lose my bait. He's probably going to cut the bait to bits. But here's a good reason to use 65-pound test Smackdown braid in open water. The teeth on a northern pike are like razors, and this one would have surely bit my frog off if I'd been using anything less. Ought to catch one here. Get mean, Kim. Oh, that was a great shot. What a shot. I got mean quick, didn't I? Oh, come on up here. Yeah, they're out on these flats where the bluegills are. Boy, look at how he choked it too. Come on over here. He choked it too. Man, look at that. Choked it like crazy. Right up in the, there we go. Yeah, just another nice solid fish and a nice bust. That's the best part. Love it when they bust it like that.
Some underwater insight of the productive water is coming up next. Stay tuned.
How you doing? I'm Mark Pizer, the owner of Trickstep. I want to give you a tour of our facility. This is our inventory and packaging. We love having steps on the shelf. You order today, it ships today. We do a lot of machining for step parts. We build electronics mounts. That's actually one of the CAD programs we're running right now. We've got a CNC running. It's making parts for electronics mounts today. Coming in here, this is all welding. This is the welding facility. We've got 5 TIG welding stations. We TIG weld every Trickstep. A 3-step Trickstep has 18 feet of welds. In 2019, we made 10 miles of TIG welds. We're going to surpass that by quite a bit this year. These steps are on racks ready to go to powder coat. We powder coat with a tough coat finish. It matches most of the boat trailers nowadays. Everything is made in-house. We've got a couple of companies that make a few parts for us, but it's all made in the United States of America with US-made steel. So if you think getting in and out of your boat should be easy, order you a Trickstep.
Welcome back to Hook and Look. We join Kim as he prepares to deploy his AquaView camera.
Much of the flats on this body of water are covered with starry stonewort. Starry stonewort, which is not a vascular plant but a macroalgae, is a nasty invasive that outcompetes native vegetation. It grows extremely dense and is impenetrable by bluegills, meaning it doesn't offer much in the way of protection to these forage fish. So it's no surprise that the bluegill schools seek shelter within the remaining taller flora. In this case, it's broadleaf pondweed, which provides excellent habitat for panfish. This is awesome. Now you can clearly see as I penetrate the weed bed, the schools of bluegills dispersing. Literally hundreds of bluegills, mostly young of the year class, concentrated within as well as suspended over the foliage. This is the buffet the bass are drawn to. Tons of bluegills. The young of the year bluegill not only try to avoid predation in the grass, but are feeding on the blooming plankton community as well. Here, just outside the pondweed bed, a large school is drawn to the perimeter of Vallisneria that grows as the flat drops off. Plenty of bluegill, but we're not seeing any bass directly within the grass. Over time, I've learned the bass generally surround the perimeter of this weed bed, waiting in ambush. You can see as you get just outside the weed bed that you've got open water, but you can see that the bottom has a moss, kind of an algae on it. And for some reason, the bass seem to like that. Yep, there's a bass right there. Look at that. That's a good one. There's another one. As I approached the pondweed again, this bass right here was resting on the bottom, directly on the edge of the vegetation. So as you can see, it didn't take long to validate the pattern and confirm the bass were grouped up here. And there were some good ones. Persistence. It takes persistence. Keep that frog a-hopping. Ooh, he's got it that time. He missed it and grabbed it. Yes. That's why you don't want to set the hook immediately. And he just got it. He just got it by the hair of the chinny chin chin. But he come up, he swiped at it. You know, you need to be patient to fish it, but you also need to be patient when he strikes. Don't set it immediately. You got to make sure you feel the fish. He definitely got it the second time. Keep it up, keep it up.
There's more topwater excitement ahead. Right after these messages. This portion of Hook and Look is brought to you by Seagar. Trust Seagar when everything is on the line. The original O-Wacky tool, your soft bait's best mate. Trickstep, because getting in and out of your trailered boat should be easy. And by Indian River, Michigan Tourist Bureau. Pure waters, pure trails, pure north.
Oh my God! Did you see that pike? It was awesome. As we mentioned earlier, pike are a natural predator to frogs as well, and when they get a glimpse of one thrashing on the water's surface, they'll quickly attack with a vengeance. It doesn't mean they'll always get it though. There you go, right there. Yes. Oh, it's another good one too. Oh, it's another good one. Man. Oh, but he was a lot of fun. Holy cow. There are a couple of ways I like to work a frog. First is by hopping it forward. You do this by employing short pops with your rod tip. In the lily pads, I like to keep my rod high and hop the frog over the pads, pausing it occasionally when I reach an open pocket. The second method I like takes a little more talent, but it's easy to learn if you practice, and that's called walking the dog. By keeping your rod tip low and slightly to the side, then employing short pops on slack line, will cause the sexy frog to kick side to side, creating splashes and a continuous enticing commotion. You'll learn to time the cadence back and forth and repeatedly walk the frog. This action can only be achieved in open water, but trust me, that side to side movement drives the fish nuts. A trick that helps the frog walk easier is to trim the skirt with one leg shorter than the other. By doing this, it unevenly balances the frog and helps it kick sideways. Once again though, regardless as to how you work the frog, it's critical that you be patient upon the strike and not attempt to set the hook immediately. Often the fish will miss the bait initially, and you don't want to pull the frog away and likely lose the opportunity completely. Wait until you actually feel the fish on the end of the line. It's not an easy task, but you'll put a lot more fish in the boat if you train yourself to be patient. Ooh, we missed it. That was a big one. We missed it. Get back over there, Kim. Oh, that was a good. I jerked it just as he struck. I pulled it right out of his face. Oh, that was a good one. Could have been the same one I missed. Ooh, there he is. Come on, get it. Look, he missed it again. Got it that time. Is that awesome? Is that? Oh, that's a big one too. That is a big one. Look at, oh, that's a giant. That is a big fall largemouth on our frog. And man, he wanted it, didn't he? Oh, that's a good one. Oh, yes. Come on over here, you big, beautiful bass. Look at that. Now there is a stud. Oh, and look, just choked it. Choked it, choked it, choked it. Oh, he wasn't stuck that good. But he went for it like 4 or 5 times. Awesome. Awesome, awesome fall frog fishing. Early fall. And then a beautiful fish. Wow. You gotta try it. You know it. Odds are pretty good that wasn't the same fish on every strike, but I'm glad he was the one that finally got it. We'll see you next week on Hook and Look.
Hook and Look is a Kim Stricker production.